You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox 11. In August, Hurricane Irene blew through Virginia, bringing heavy rain, storm surges, and strong winds. Left in her wake were power outages, fallen trees, debris, covered roads, and heavy flooding throughout the region. During the recovery and cleanup efforts, Cox was working to continue services to our customers in the safest and most effective way. Here to talk about our emergency preparations and recovery plans and how this affects you, our customers, is Betty Jo Roberts, a key member of the Cox Business Continuity Team. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gary. Glad to be here.
So, Betty Jo, why is it important for businesses to be ready for these kind of events like Hurricane Irene?
Sure. A business continuity plan, or most people refer to it as a BCP, is critically important for businesses. That is really the plan that mitigates the impact to employees and customers and key stakeholders. And really, as business leaders, that's kind of our duty, is to make sure we have these plans in place for our stakeholders.
And I guess especially in this region.
Absolutely, in this region, but also remember what just happened up in the Northeast as well, because we're coming out of hurricane season, but we also have winter weather approaching. And Cox's BC plan most recently was initiated during Hurricane Irene, and that's a really good example of what good planning and reacting can mean when the unknown occurs.
So talk a little bit about the Cox plan. What's our priority? What's our first priority in terms of, or priorities in general when we activate that BCP plan?
Sure. Our number one priority is the safety and welfare of our almost 2,000 employees across Virginia. They are the lifeblood of our operations. We have several programs in place to make sure that we alert them ahead of the storm, we keep in contact with them during the storm, and we also require every single employee to notify us after the storm passes that their family and they personally are safe. We call our Cox hotline the I'm OK Cox line. Mm-hmm. And every leader is responsible for verifying the safety of their employees. But then secondly, as important to that, is the restoration of services to our customers. Once we determine that it's safe to send our employees out, we begin the process of determining what the impact is to our infrastructure. And that's more than the brick and mortar. That's really the network and what connects us to our customers.
What are some of the factors? I mean, clearly we're out here trying to restore services, but we're not out here alone. Are there other factors that impact our ability to restore services quickly and safely?
Absolutely. Again, number one, we will not send our employees out until we know it's safe to send them out. And so if there's down power lines or trees are down in particular areas, that can prevent us from getting into areas quickly. As well as we work very closely with our emergency response agencies to also make sure that we're planning with them on restoration, as well as the power company. The power company is a key partner in our restoration efforts.
You mentioned that. I mean, maybe most listeners may not know, but prior to the hurricane season, we actually do a tabletop exercise involving these outside agencies and the like. Can you speak to that a second?
Absolutely. We put in place, through Cox, working with our partners, the emergency management agencies, to put in place a fake crisis, if you will, and make sure that we're ready for any of the events that may occur, whether it's a weather-related event or there's also man-made crises that we need to prepare for. The relationship we have with the emergency management agencies in the local area are critical to ensure that we work collectively to bring and restore our community back to normal after a crisis.
And so does Cox actually have people in some of the emergency operation centers and to keep communications going before, during, and after these events?
Absolutely. Before, during, and after the storm, we have people stationed at the emergency management agencies, as well as we are in constant contact via phone and via the internet and live feed with these emergency management agencies to make sure we're in lockstep with what's going on in the community.
So what are some of the tips that, if you're listening, you're a business owner or just a citizen in the region, what's some of the things that you should be doing to make sure that you are in fact prepared for these kinds of natural disasters?
Sure. We talk a lot about a BCP, which is a business continuity plan, but you also need a PCP, which is a personal continuity plan. And that really is making sure that you're aware of what's going on. You subscribe to weather alerts. You stay on top of that information. I think common sense tells you stay away from down power lines. Make sure that you don't go near anything that might be hazardous. Make sure you're...
I think we're showing a screen that has some of those.
Good. Yeah, make sure your mobile phones are charged. I know during Hurricane Irene, I didn't have a phone charger, so make sure you also have a charger in your car. So if you're without power for an extended period of time, you can always charge your mobile phone using your car charger. As well as make sure you back up your data files and your computer files. And the beautiful thing is, for Cox customers, both residential and commercial, online backup and storage is a part of their internet service subscription free of charge. So make sure that you access and use that. And then if you're a business customer or a business that is looking for how to prepare their telecom services for continuity, Cox Business also has just announced a business continuity solution that allows or that provides dedicated secure internet, hosted voice services that you can quickly and instantly reroute your phone calls to a different number. So
this would allow you to keep your business up and running.
Absolutely.
Throughout any kind of natural.
Throughout any kind of storm, and as long as you can reroute your phones to a phone line that's operational, like your Cox Digital Home Service that does not typically go down when power is out, you can pick up those phone calls that might be coming in for your business.
All right, wow. You know, you brought up something, we only have about a minute to go, but having that personal continuity plan, a lot of times people will assume that they will be able to go to a store, they will assume that they will have access to power, or if it goes out, it's only going to be off for a day or two. But that's a really important thing, to have your own personal plan in place.
Absolutely. Yeah, just as much as the BCP, we got to remember that PCP.
If you want to know more about this, if you are a customer, I guess there's a restoration website that you can go to, I guess, to find out a little bit more about what we've talked about. Cox.
Absolutely. At cox.com/Hampton Roads, we have information on there, as well as during any crisis, we also post information for our customers to give them updates on where we are from a restoration perspective, as well as there's plenty of emergency management sites that you can also access in order to get that information.
Betty Jo, thank you for being with us today and all you do for us.
Thanks, Gary.
Right after the break, Cox Charities has done it again. Through key fundraising events, we were able to raise more than $200,000 to be awarded to nonprofit organizations throughout Virginia. Find out how when we come right back.